Hello again, everyone. It's Matthew from Port Stephens Library. We are going to continue on from our last lesson, moving on to Lesson 3 for Introduction to Scratch. So if you followed the last video, you should end up around here with what next. So try the Ghostbusters project. So if we just click on here, we'll go to our Ghostbusters project. Okay, so our first step is animate a ghost. So first we're going to open a new empty Scratch project. Just like the previous ones, we'll go into our online and click through the link. And that'll load us in a new blank Scratch window. So then we'll go back into the other tab and give that a tick. And we'll just scroll down and we're going to now add in a new ghost sprite and a suitable stage backdrop. So if you can't remember how to add a Scratch sprite or a backdrop, it's got the instructions under both of these. So we'll go back in and add those. So first off, we'll get rid of Scratch, so delete him. And then we'll go in and choose a sprite. We're after a ghost, so we'll search that in there. Pretty spooky looking ghost there. And then we'll give ourselves a backdrop. And if we want forest, and we'll go for the woods. There we go. That one's pretty spooky. We've got our ghost sitting in the woods. Now we'll go back to our lesson plan and we'll give that a tick. Now if we scroll down, we'll have add code to your ghost sprite so that the ghost appears and disappears forever when the green flag is clicked. So if you think you could do that, you can try now, or we can go in and check the hints. So we'll try those now. So once the green flag is clicked, your ghost should hide for 1 second and then show for 1 second. It needs to do this forever. If from these you can tell what to do, you can try now, or we'll try the second hint. We'll go to the second hint. Here are the code blocks you need. You need a hide block, a show block, a forever block, a wait 1 second block, another wait 1 second block, and when flag is clicked. So if you think you can do the code from that, you can try now, or we'll try the third hint. So we'll go to the third hint, and this is what your code should look like. So when flag clicked, a big forever block with a hide, wait 1 second, show, wait 1 second. So we'll go into our code and do that now. So now we're going to go into our event block and we're going to grab a when flag clicked, drag that across. Then we're going to go into our controls. We're going to grab a forever block. And we'll grab 2 wait 1 second blocks and place them in there now so we don't have to go back. And then we'll go into our looks. We want to grab a hide block and a show block. These are further down, so if you click and drag your bar here, you'll be able to see them. And we want to put a hide up the top, just in the forever block, and then a show between it, the 2 wait blocks. Now if we press the green flag to test it, it should disappear and appear for 1 second and disappear, and it'll just keep doing that over and over again. So we'll stop that for now, and we'll go back into our lesson. And we'll just scroll back up and tick that one off, and then we'll scroll down. So test and save your project. We've just done that now. If you can't remember how to save a project, if you are logged on with an account, it'll do it automatically for you. But if you're saving it to the computer, if you go back in here, File, and Save to your computer. So now we're going to make our ghost a random ghost. Your ghost is really easy to catch at the moment because it doesn't move. Can you add code to your ghost so that instead of staying in the same position, the ghost appears at random positions on the stage? So if you think you can try and do that, you can try and do that now, or we'll go into our hints. We'll click on our hints. Each time before your ghost appears, it should go to a random position on the stage. If you think you can do this now, you can try that now, or we'll go on to hint number 2. So we'll click across. There are 2 sets of code blocks you could use here. Choose the set you prefer. Either add this set of blocks to your ghost sprite, go to random position, or add this one to your sprite, go to X, Y, and pick random 1 to 10, and pick random 1 to 10. So if you think from those blocks you can do that, you can try now, or we'll see what hint 3 looks like. And we'll go to hint 3. So then we've got your code could look either like this, when flag clicked, forever hide, wait 1 second, and we've got the go to random position after the wait block, and then it'll show itself. Or we can do this one here, which has go to X And we've got pick random minus 150 to 150 and pick random minus 150 to 150. We might try this one here with go to random position. It's a bit shorter for you, but if you want to, you can definitely use this one as well. So now we'll go back into our Scratch project, and then we will just grab our motion blocks and go to random position. And we'll put it right here. And now if we click the green flag, our ghost should start popping up all over the screen. Very good. So after we've done that, we'll go back to our lesson and we'll tick that one off there as well. And we'll scroll down, and our challenge is more randomness. So we'll go into our challenge, more randomness. Can you add code to your ghost sprite to make the ghost wait a random amount of time while it is hidden? Can you use the set size block to make your ghost randomly larger or smaller each time it appears? So if you think you can do that on your own, try that now, or I'll go in and show you how the challenge works. So we'll go in now, back to our Scratch project, and then we'll go down to where our hide block is, and underneath that we've got our wait block. So in there we're going to grab an operator, which is our green one down here. We're going to grab pick a random number between 1 and 10 and pop that in there. 10 seconds is a bit long, so we'll go random one between maybe 4 seconds. And that's our randomly appearing ghost now. And then we also want to make it a random size. So we'll go into our looks and we'll go set size to 100%. And we'll pop that here after it, just before the show. And we will then want another operator for pick random. So we'll grab another one of those and pop that in there. But we'll want it from, say, maybe 25% up to 100%, make it nice and big. So now let's test that when we press the green flag. So it'll take a bit longer and it'll appear. And then it's much smaller down there. We'll see how it goes. And it'll change size each time. So we'll try one more. Oh, much bigger up there now. Very good. So now we'll go back to our lesson. And that's how the challenge works. So now we're going to go to our next one, code for catching ghosts. So the code for catching ghosts, now you're going to add code to your game so that the player to catch the ghosts. So now when we click on them, they'll disappear. So can you make your ghost disappear when it's being caught? The player should be able to click ghost to catch them. If you test your game and find catching ghosts difficult, you can play the game in full screen mode by clicking on this button. So a little expand button there. So now let's go into the hint and see. When clicked, your ghost sprite should hide. If you think you can do this without the hint, try now, or we'll see what the next hint says. So your code should look like this. When this sprite clicked, hide. So we'll go back into Scratch and do that now. So then we want to go into our events, and we want our when this sprite click block. And we'll click and drag that one across. And then we'll go back into our looks block again. We'll scroll down and grab a hide block. So now if we test our game and press the green flag, when the ghosts appear, if we click on it, it'll disappear and hide. And test once more, and there it goes. Very good. And where it is, if you want to go full screen, we can click on this here, and it'll take us to full screen. And then we can try the green flag, and it's a bit easier to see it all. And there we are. Very good. So we'll minimize that again, and we'll go back into our lesson, scroll up, and hit the tick button. And now we'll go onto our challenge, add a sound. Now let's see, can you add code to your ghost so that ghost makes a sound when it's caught? So if you think you can do that, try that now, or I'll go in and show you how the challenge works. So we'll go into our code now. Now we've got our ghost sprite. So when we've got our when this sprite click block, we're going to add something here. So first off, let's see if we've got any sounds for our ghost. So we'll go into sounds, see what space report. That's a bit long, so we might just choose another sound for our ghost. So I think there's one in here called pop that I like. That's good. So we'll go squish pop, and then we'll go back into our code, and then we're going to have sound, going to play sound squish pop until done. So now what will happen is we'll click the green flag, and then we're going to click ghost and it'll make a noise. And that's how we do the challenge for add a sound. So we'll go back to Ghostbusters, and our next thing is adding a score. So when clicking add a score, now you're going to make your game more interesting by keeping score. So we're going to create a new variable called score. So now we're going to learn about variables. We're going to go into add a variable in Scratch. So click here. So click on a variables in the code tab, then click on make a variable. Type in the name of your variable. You can choose whether you would like your variable to be available to all sprites or to only this sprite. Press OK. Once you have created the variable, it will be displayed on the stage, or you can untick the variable in the scripts tab. So we'll go through and do that now, and we're going to create a variable called score. So we'll go back into Scratch. We'll click on our variable tab, which is down here on the left-hand side. We're going to make a variable. We're going to call it score. We're going to make this for all sprites and hit OK now. So now you'll see up the top corner, we've got our score variable. And over here in the left bar where we've got our variables, we can make it appear by clicking or unclicking the tick. Okay, so we've added our score variable. We'll go back to our lesson and then we'll tick that there. Now we'll just scroll down to, can you keep track of the player score? Players should score points when they click on ghosts to catch them. Each time a player clicks on a ghost, their score should increase. So if you think you can do that now, you can try, or we'll go to the hints. So when the green flag is clicked, your score variable should be set to 0. The stage is the best place to add this code. When the ghost sprite is clicked, the score variable should be changed by 1. If you think you can do this from these tips, you can try now, or we'll go to the next hint. So next hint, here are the code blocks you need. Set score to 0. When green flag clicked, change score by 1. If you think you can do this from these tips, try now, or we'll go to the last hint. So in the last hint, we need for our stage, when green flag clicked, set score to 0. And for our ghost, when this sprite clicked, hide, change score by 1. So we'll go in and add that now. So we'll go back into Scratch. And first off, we'll choose our stage by clicking over here. And then we're going to go into our events. And we'll select when green flag clicked, place that in there. Now we're going to go into our variables. We're going to set my variable to 0. We're going to change my variable to score, just like that. So now we're going to go into our ghost. And we've already got our when this sprite clicked and hide with our play sound squish pop. And now whenever that happens, we're going to change my variable by 1 and change that to score. So now if we press the green flag to test our ghost, whenever it appears, if we click, it'll make a pop noise and the score will change by 1. Oh, I missed that one. There we are. So that works like that. And then if we start the game again and press the green flag, the score will go back to 0 again. Very good. So now we'll go into our lesson, scroll up a bit and tick that one and scroll down. And now the next thing to do will be add a timer. Okay, so we're adding a timer. Now you're going to add a timer so that the player only has 10 seconds to catch as many ghosts as possible. So now we're going to create a new variable called time. So if you remember how we created our variable before, if not, you can go back and check that step. I'll go in and show us how. So we're going to go into Scratch. We're going to make a variable. We're going to call it time. And then hit OK there. So now we've got our time and our score. So we'll go back into our lesson and tick off that one. So now we want to, can you add a timer to your stage to give your player only 10 seconds to catch ghosts? Your time should start at 10 seconds, count down every second. The game should stop when the timer gets to 0. If you think you can work that out from that, see how you go. But we'll try and see what the hint says. So we're going to go in there. Now let's have a look. When the green flag is clicked, your time variable should be set to 10. It should then change by -1 every second until it reaches 0. So if you think you can figure out how to do it from there, you can try that now, or try the next hint. Here are the code blocks you need to use. So we need a stop all block, we need a equals block, we need a set time to 10, and we want a change time by -1, and then we need a time variable. We also need a wait 1 second block, a repeat until, and a when flag clicked. So that's quite a few blocks. So if you think you can figure it out from that, you can try that now, or we'll go to the next step and see what it looks like. Okay, so here is the code you should add to create a timer. So we're going to add this to our stage. So when flag clicked, set time to 10, and then we're going to repeat until time equals 0, and then we're going to wait 1 second, and then we're going to change time by -1, and when we get to the bottom, we're going to stop all. So let's add that now to our stage. It's a big one, so we'll see how we go. So we're going to go back into Scratch. We're going to click on our backdrops, and we're going to have when flag clicked, and we're going to set my variable to 10. So we'll click in there and type 10, and we're going to change my variable to time. And then if we'll go back in and double check, we're going to repeat until. There's a few steps. We'll go into our control. We're going to grab a repeat until, and then we're going to grab an operators, and it's going to be our equal operator, which is right here. We'll pop that in there. It's a bit hard to get in there sometimes, so just make sure it highlights around it. And then we're going to go back into our variables. We'll grab our time, pop that in there, in the first one, and equals 0. And then we're going to change my variable by -1. And my variable will be time. Then we also need to grab our control, and we want to wait 1 second. And then right at the end, we're going to have if you scroll down in your controls, you'll see the stop all right near the bottom. We'll place that just underneath there. So this is what the full code will look like. Now we'll test it and see how it works. So press the green flag, our timer starts. Now ghost starts to appear. Oh, I missed that one. And we'll wait for our ghost to appear, and we'll get our score. Oh, I only got 1 in that one. But the timer got to 0 and the game has stopped, and you can test it again. And as you can see, the ghost will give us extra scores as we go. There we are. So now that works well. We'll go into our lesson and then scroll up and give that a tick. And we'll scroll down. Now, ask a friend to test your game. How many points can they score? So this is where you can test it yourself. Maybe ask someone to have a go of it, see how they go. We'll give that one a tick when you're done. And if your game is too easy, you can give the player less time. You can make the ghost appear less often, and you can make the ghost smaller. So change and test your game a few times until you're happy with its level of difficulty. So you try those steps and give them less time, make the ghost appear less often, and make the ghost smaller. When you've done all that, you can click on the tick. Now the challenge for this will be more sprites, so we'll click on that. So for the challenge, more sprites, can you add other sprites to your game? So you need to think about some things for each sprite you want to add. So how big should the sprite be? Should it appear more or less often than the ghost sprite? What does it look, sound like when it gets caught? And how many points does the player win or lose for catching the sprite? If you need help, you can go back through the instructions in the previous steps or ask a friend. So now you can try adding your own extra ghosts that might give you more points, or maybe some bad things not to click on that will take away points. So see how cool you can make your game yourself and add some more things to it. And we'll see then what's next on our thing to do. So, well done on completing the Ghostbusters project. Do you want to create something a little more challenging? So we'll try out the Chatbot project. So click on the green flag and then click on the Chatbot characters to start a conversation. When the chatbot asks a question, type your answer into the box at the bottom of the stage and then click on the blue mark on the right, or press enter to see the chatbot's reply. So we'll test that real quick. So click on the green flag. We'll click on our chatbot. What's your name? I'm Library Matman. Hi, Library Matman. Are you okay, Library Matman? Yes, I am. That's great to hear. Do you want to go to the moon? Yes. Oh, we're on the moon. Pretty cool. So next lesson, we'll be creating our own chatbot. So for now, congrats, project completed. You've done very well, and I'll hopefully see you all next time. Bye for now.